Welcome to the Lunch Break podcast. The pod, dude. Speaking of crazy business ideas, what's the craziest business idea you've ever come across, Greg?
Craziest business idea.
Whether it worked or didn't. Like, what was the one where you were like, you guys think about it because it could have worked, it could not have worked.
I got one. This is actually pretty dang good. So I met this guy through just a contact that I'd created, and he's like, oh, dude, this guy, he's a serial entrepreneur. He had exited multiple companies. So I was like, sick, let's meet. What ends up happening is he gets on the call with me, and he's like, okay, think of like Xbox, like linking, like where you can like link up with your pals and like play Xbox together. I'm like, so you're talking about like online gaming? And he's like, yes. What ends up happening is the next hour and a half, he tells me about how he's going to create the Xbox gaming, like online streaming for dogs.
What?
Legitimately, like the guy was dead ass.
He thinks dogs are going to be playing video games?
Yeah. Like he's like, I have a dog and I've been creating these systems and training him how to do different things. And like we haven't, and then like it took him an hour to explain his idea, but then he's like, oh, you haven't even heard like half of it. And I was like, what else could there be? I was like, let's
for an
go.
hour, dude.
He's like, phase 2, cats.
No, dead ass. Like it was the craziest conversation I've had in a minute. And that was like 2 months ago.
So you invested in it, yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Full send.
Like Scott Paul's baby.
Oh my
baby
gosh, that might be
helicopter?
the worst one that we've heard.
Yeah.
That was the
You
worst.
heard of this one?
I have not.
No.
He thinks that you should hire drones to take your babies,
Yeah.
basically in cages, and they're just like 30 feet above you. So when you and your wife are on a date, the drone's just with the baby up there, just following you around.
Yeah.
He was serious.
He was serious. He was like, I'm waiting for it.
Yeah.
Dude.
He must have like
Scott
a demon baby. Who's,
Scott
like,
Paul's
tiny.
wild, dude. What a wild dude.
I'm like, you don't even have little kids anymore. Who are you putting in there?
That's right.
Yeah. Dude, from drone babies to dog online gaming.
Dude, dog video gaming.
Dog video games.
I
That's
just,
a good one.
I just want
I
to see
can't-
what the remote looks like because of their paws, you
Dude,
know?
well,
Dude,
the
weird.
only thing he had is he had a device where it's like if his dog went and pressed this paw thing, it would like spit like a treat out. But his like thing was like, no, it's much deeper than that. So I was trying to really like understand him, not to be like an asshole, because as an entrepreneur, you're like, you dream, you go big, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of why you have what you have today, is because of crazy, audacious dreams that are reality.
But some people, you're like, this is your dream.
You're like, homie,
this idea?
Yes.
Dude, dream a little more. Go back to sleep.
Keep that one to yourself.
Or don't take LSD.
That's true.
Could be a possibility that he was dope.
His dog was talking to him.
Stoned out of his mind.
Greg, I need a video game.
He was like, bro, listen to me.
You know how good I'd be at Doom?
Dude, that would be actually freaking hilarious.
That's good stuff.
What about you? Worst
I don't.
business
I mean,
idea?
maybe Scott's idea.
Scott's idea?
I don't know if I should say it. And I'm trying to be honest with him. I'm like, hey, dude, not every idea is,
Legit.
How long have you been doing this? He's like, since 2016. I'm like, how many have you sold? He was like, about 10 packs.
10 packs of like.
You sold $100 in 7 years, and you still want to do this, dude?
I just had that like in my brain pop up of the dog company. This guy's been at it for 8 years, and he has a team of 20 people. Don't get me wrong, like guy's making money off of his little dog paw treat dispenser.
Well, that makes sense. That's a good idea.
That I'm like, okay,
Sure.
there's a market for it.
Yeah,
But
that's a
like
good
this
idea.
other side, he's like, oh yeah, everybody's invested in the vision. Like we're gonna create the first like dog online gaming. And I'm like, bro, you are committed. So part of me is like, do I invest in something just kind of wild and say I have a wild investment just to be like, yeah. Like,
Remember that time I
invested
threw
in
money
dog
away?
gaming and poker chips.
Dude.
That's a flex, dude, when you're like, I invested in a company I don't believe in at all. just cause I could. Because what if? And then I'm like, look at what I made my money
It's
on.
like the
Yeah.
Steve Jobs of dog gaming.
Who knows? And you don't want to be that guy if it blows up. You don't want to be that guy on an interview.
Yeah, it's
so
never
many
gonna
people told me no. And guess what? Your golden retriever's playing on my video game.
Okay, so
right now.
I'll tell you the truth. When I was at Skull Candy, Rick Alden was kind of like done with it. He was he's the founder, and he's walking around the office. This is like 2012, 2011. He's walking around the office going, I'm starting up a new company. This one's going to be freaking huge. I think it has potential to be bigger than Skull Candy. And we're all like, what is it, dude? What is it? And he's like, it's socks that aren't white. We're going to put like Rasta designs on socks like we did with headphones. I was just like, dude, this is the dumbest idea ever.
Stance.
It was Stance. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember him walking around the hallways and I'm like, yo, bro, he ain't going to hit it with this one. Like, that ain't it. But who would have thought then?
Yeah, right.
You know? So maybe it is. It's
Stance.
just like the guys with the wild, wild ideas. Had you invested in Stance back then,
Yeah.
probably do quite well for yourself now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
wild, dude.
They own the market for socks.
Yeah, they've dominated.
Just think about it. It's like everything else was owned by Nike besides cool socks. And people wanted cool socks in the market. So it's just like, yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah, that's why. What do you got to do to make a brand that big, like Stance? Like that kind of just blows my mind. Like because when you pitch the idea like that, like, oh, we're gonna make cool socks, and you're like, okay,
Rick was lucky in that he already had an infrastructure with all of the reps at Skull Candy. We're all action sports, outdoor, lifestyle reps. And he's like, yo, you're already selling Skull Candy for me. Like, we've made each other a grundle of money. Just like,
push these.
go push these Stance socks too.
Oh,
bro.
so you would go.
He
like
already had
wholesale
an
or something
infrastructure.
like that. Yeah.
He just went straight to mom and pop core retail and it blew up. And then he followed the Skull Candy model. I mean, Skull Candy had NBA athletes, James Harden, Kevin Durant. They were sponsored by
Donovan
Skull
Mitchell
Candy.
had one. Donovan Mitchell still has a store in City Creek. Doesn't
Yeah,
he?
Stance.
Stance,
So
yeah.
they like followed that same formula.
I don't know. Did you guys watch the Netflix series for And One? The Untold for
No.
And One? Do you remember And One?
Ooh, yeah, dude.
Yes.
I think. Okay, keep going though.
So
Go
I
ahead.
still wear like And One like basketball shorts as
They're
like
great.
an OG. And they're like
Yeah.
the most comfortable.
They're like capris, but
Yeah.
a little baggier.
Yeah, yeah.
They're Janko capris.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. But I just remember getting my first pair of And Ones thinking like, I'm a dog.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, exquisite. Like all these people, right? Like I was like, this is the shit.
Yeah.
And I think about brands or I just think about business and I think like the thing that makes like the engine turn for a lot of brands very quickly is the audience. And I know it's something that sometimes like marketers, it's all they talk about, but it's sometimes what businesses never really focus on. Even from beginning to end, it's like, who's Nike's audience? Who was Nike's audience in the very inception of the company? It was runners.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then I think about Stance, like who is Stance's audience? And then I don't know. I think if you're like building a brand and a product, like it is about audience. And One, to bring it full circle and why I still wear And One, is they brought like the coolest ballers, the professor and all these old dogs.
Oh,
The
yeah.
professor.
The professor was
Yeah. And everybody knew about these people. And what they did is they just took the And One mixtapes. They went to all of these kind of like private basketball courts, and then they just started making like the nobody famous. And they took them on the And One tour, and if you got on tour, you're making money and this and this and that.
That's-
and
oh,
they
yeah,
started
street ball.
dominating market share. And the whole premise of like And One and like Nike is Nike said that they, in an executive meeting, they got a hold of some paper. It just had like a target, and it had And One being like the target for Nike to go and dominate them. And I just thought it was so interesting because Nike came out with a commercial for basketball on street basketball because Nike had like been like the professional
Sure. It had
side
all been Jordan.
instead of the street
Right.
side of basketball,
Right.
which I thought was so like unique to where they're like we're gonna take the streets with our brand, and I think they just said no to professional, no to this because they didn't have the money, and then they just figured out like a niche that worked for them. Then the engine just started turning and
Yeah.
bang.
Dude, I
brand.
think I love that. And being laser focused on that core audience, you can grow into outer rings eventually, but I think you just have to hit it with a core audience.
Well, yeah. Okay.
I was just going to say, when I was at Zoomies, Nike had released Nike SB, the skateboarding edition.
oh yeah.
And at the time, dude, it was exclusive. Like
It's a big deal.
everybody wanted the Janowskis. Nobody could get them. We're over here at Zoomies with 500 locations, and we're like, hey, Nike, it's about time you did something skateboarding.
Yep.
Like, let us sell them. And they're like, you guys aren't core. No. and they made us sell the Dunks for a year. And we just sat on Dunks. No one was buying Dunks at a skate shop in 2005.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't happening. And after like 6 months or whatever, rumor has it we were like, we can't sell, we're not selling these. Like, this is over. Give us the SBs or we're done. And Nike was like, send the Dunks back, then you're not getting the SBs. So we did. Months later, we come back and we're like, we're getting killed in footwear. We have to have SBs. All right, we'll pick it up. We'll carry the Dunks for 6 months, and then let's get the orders rolling. And Nike was like, your time starts over. You have a year. And they held. And then, dude, it took a while, right? And by the time Zoomies had SBs, they just weren't cool anymore.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, well, the core group had them. Now everyone has them. And it's like, well, the core group doesn't want them anymore.
And I think that's like, it just goes to show, like, to your point about just like branding and carrying the thing and saying no and all that kind of stuff. It's just like your audience changes, right? And you have to adapt. And that's Nike's like core, one of their cores, like be on offense always. Because like Nike just spits shoes out like crazy. And most of them like are decent. Some of them are just ass, like quality, right? All that kind of stuff. But I just think about like the consistency of like audience change. I think what like humans are like attracted to, maybe it's just like my crazy mind, but we're attracted to like non-patterned things. So a fireplace, you'll just sit and you'll just stare forever. An ocean, you'll listen to it forever because it's always different. Snowflakes fall, right? All that kind of stuff. And I think like the brands who adapt and like see the change and like are like always kind of iterating, but always staying true to who they are in their audience, they just dominate the market. They own market share. To where it's like, who's going to compete with Nike? Like, who can like outdo Apple? And I'm like, it would almost be like a betting man to say like, you can't. They're too big.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, I interviewed I interviewed the CEO of Trainual. You guys familiar with that?
I think so.
Okay, they're an online. They build SOPs for businesses. They're like online operations SaaS, and they did pretty well for themselves. I talked. Chris Ronzio was on my podcast yesterday, and he was like talking about audience building. He wrote a couple articles where he started Trainual in 2015. It like failed, and then he tried to do the traditional SaaS model. So he waited 3 years. 2018 kind of did it better, and then failed again at it, and then brought it back. I think a couple years later after he'd built this audience, and then once he had the audience built around this kind of operations and like things like that, he's like the traditional SaaS model just blew up for him. And where most SaaSes try to go like initial funding, initial cash injection, build audience on the way, and hopefully we'll invert, right? And like he just, if you do audience first, it's like community first, it's a really big game changer.
Just makes it so easy to sell.
It's the con though is it takes so damn long.
Yeah,
to build a good audience, right? That you want to scale, like
especially in today's market where audience is just so selective with what they consume. It's just like you think about social in general. I think people don't take like enough time to think like a lens out or 3 lenses out of what their audience is already currently consuming. Where I mean by like, if you think about me, and it's like I'm not on social media all the time, but when I kind of flip through or I go through stories or you're on X, now Twitter, I think a lot of people say that because it's like X is like, for the bad things. But like,
I got
like you're on drugs?
I got rid of the app because it did not look like anything a married man was supposed to be on.
Yeah. And I think that was the one thing that, again, coming back to just like going a couple lenses out with like audience is you're competing for consumption of like general random things that people look at on a daily basis. Shoe companies, clothing companies, fishing companies, like alcohol, whatever, like celebrities, like you're competing with everybody, not just like your actual true market.
Right.
And that's something I've thought a lot about is just like, how do you make waves through the noise in audience for brand? And I've never created a brand, right? I created a tech company, but
I thought the tech company, I mean, you had a brand element to it.
Yeah. There's a lot of branding for sure in tech, but I think product tech and branding and the product are very different because really
than an emotional connection to a brand like
the brands, Nike. The brands have a personal relationship with you as the consumer. Whereas a software provider, the consumer actually has a relationship with your software, not you. And there's a representation of brand in there, an element of brand in there. And yes, like big brands and all that kind of stuff, but it's what is the relationship that they have with the software? Because they'll quickly forget you, but they won't forget the shoes that they wore in the 7th grade with the Allen Iverson on the bottom and the zip on top. You know, like it's a different
Gangster
relationship.
shoe, by the way.
Oh yeah, dude, that was the shoe for me. Until I went to recess and I stomped the shit out of Allen Iverson's face, and I was like
Devastated.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'd never been so distraught in my life. I went home and cried, and then put on my soaps and went and grinded some rails. You know,
Oh, good
Soaps,
reference,
yes.
dude. Soaps
I'm
were
dropping
way
some
better than
old school
Heelys.
heaters today, huh?
Yeah.
Soaps over Heelys, right?
Oh yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
all day, every day.
You'd never catch me in a pair of Heelys.
No, dude.
I'd kill myself.
dude,
But
there's
like,
nothing like,
I'd get killed.
there's
you know?
nothing like
Yeah.
stealing old wood from like a house that was being built, like using your dad's janky tools to build like a soaps rail out of PVC pipe, and like there'd be like screws in the top, and you'd hit and clip your like plates, fall in the grass. That was
Just
like,
get wrecked, dude.
yes,
It was soaps, and then I'm old enough that like rollerblading was cool. And we'd take
Dude, I
one of
love
the wheels
rollerblading.
out so you could grind where that missing wheel
Yes.
was. Yeah.
yeah, dude. And if you ever got the, what are they called? There's like a skate that was like the coveted skate.
Boxcar.
Yes,
That's the one I had, baby.
Yes.
They had the grind plates on them.
Oh, dude.
They look like a
The reason why you
tank
pulled,
rolled
yeah,
up,
the reason
dude.
why you pulled out the wheel is because you weren't rich enough for the box car. But once you upgraded, it's like you were the shiz.
Dude, those things were
Dude,
yeah.
for sure. You might have to skate.
I had to mow a lot of lawns to get those.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. The thought of getting on roller skates or ice skates now just makes my ankles instantly feel
bro. Isn't that the saddest
like as
thing?
old as that alien
Yeah.
bone thing they just found. I'd just crumble in half.
Yeah,
Dude.
I used
Whoa,
to
is that real?
skateboard,
You
do
think
all
that's
that
real?
stuff. I got on a skateboard the other day, and it was just like, okay, I'm gonna do like an ollie, freaking just ollied and ate shit. Like, like it was so embarrassing, you know, like where you just get, anyways, yeah.
You get to a point where, like, so I grew up playing soccer, and I played very competitively, and
Cool.
I was never going to do anything remarkable with it. The water's it's tucked under the chair a bit,
behind you.
Oh yeah.
but I try to go play now, and it's so frustrating for me because I remember what I used to be able to do. But like I was never good at baseball, so I could go play baseball now, and it doesn't matter because I don't have
Yeah.
expectations of what once
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
But playing soccer now is just infuriating for me because I
Yeah.
I am old and
That's
out of
kinda-
shape,
yeah.
and I've
That's why
lost
I
my
play
touch.
pickleball.
That's a
Oh,
great
good.
sport.
Yeah, we should play pickleball.
Pickleball is exhausting, and I am addicted to it. I love pickleball and golf.
Doubles, right?
Yeah, anything. Well, dude, I played singles the other day, and I burned like 2,400 calories. Played like 5 games in a row, and dude, I was drenched head to toe. And I'm like, I don't know like a sport that I can have this much fun, like burning off calories, which is kind of interesting. Like we're talking about brand, we're talking about a lot of things. Pickleball, they have just ass brands, and anybody who's listening who's like a pickleball fan, F you for creating shitty brands. Create a better brand. That's something I thought a lot about because I'm like, dude, there's like, you have the most ratchet looking like clothing options. And I'm like, there's no premium brand who's come into the pickleball sport.
Yeah.
Try to own it because Nike's too scared because they got Wilson tennis, like, you know, and I'm like, Skechers is trying to own this. I don't know.
That is fun.
Franklin,
Skechers, bro.
Franklin, bro.
Sketchies.
I will be honest. Some Skechers are pretty dope. Okay, I said it out loud.
No, there's not a single. You couldn't find
Dude,
a single pair that I
on
would
the
rock
contrary,
and not
Tyson
be embarrassed.
McGuffin, he's like the pickleball guy. He's sponsored by Skechers. He came out with some freaking heaters, bro. I'm gonna send you a picture.
Really?
I'm gonna send you a picture.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, dude.
What are they called?
I got you.
What are they called?
I got
Send
you.
it over.
I got you. right
By the
now.
way, while you're sending
I
that
have
over,
a hard time believing
you're gonna be
this.
shocked.
Skechers. We had a cool pickleball paddle that you gave away at
Bison.
Bison. That was a cool pickleball paddle. I don't know if they make clothes.
I think he's just paddles, and he's local.
Ooh, that's cool.
But it's in fact I have
No,
one.
like the
I
paddle
have one in my
game,
office.
like
I'll show you.
Selkirk and Holbrook, like they're coming out with way better paddles for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, the actual clothing,
Okay.
the shoes.
Yeah.
Like, when I see somebody in Nike on court, it's like, damn, that's cool, right? If you're into, like, paddle sports.
Yeah.
But when you see Skechers and you see, like, a headband that has, like, a pickleball on the side of it that was, like, embroidered in, like, everybody's trying, but I'm waiting for that, like, iconic pickle brand to kind of come through and take over the sport.
Well, pickleball itself was the brand that was weird. Like, could you imagine trying to pitch that? That should be a segment on our show. Imagine trying to pitch pickleball to the first. Okay, listen. Here's what it is. It's a wiffle ball. Okay, like exactly like what you're thinking. The one with the kid. Yeah. Okay, it's a wiffle ball, and instead of a ping pong paddle, it's this. Think about what your mom used to hit you with. Just
A belt?
yeah. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Wait, that got dark.
But like, you know what I mean? Like, it's this bigger paddle than a ping pong ball, and you're hitting it on a wiffle ball, and you can do it on a tennis court. And our market really isn't young kids; it's kind of older people.
It's like, have you seen Honey, I Shrunk the Children? It's like if you got shrunk down and you just played tennis on a ping pong table. That's how I would. That's how I would.
It's like inside a ping pong table, we're gonna use a wiffle ball instead.
Yeah. But it's such a fun sport. But it is
fun,
like, it's
imagine
a weird
trying to
thing
pitch
to.
that. Yeah. Imagine trying, or like another good one was spike ball.
Dude,
Imagine trying to pitch spike ball.
Spike ball is not easy.
No, it's not. It's actually.
I think
extremely
pickleball is
difficult.
easier, but dude, my brother-in-law created a company. It's actually got some wheels on it. It's called Paddle Smash. And Paddle Smash is combining pickleball and spike ball. So you have paddles, and then you have a net, and then you have a hard bottom, and you like.
And the net goes up like this?
Yeah. And
Dude,
it
I
goes
have
up.
that.
You do you?
Yeah, my parents bought it for me.
Yeah, so that's my brother-in-law's company.
That's
And
actually fun. It's hard to play too.
Yeah. There's another one called Bottle Bash. Have you ever played Bottle Bash?
Is this one with the frisbees?
Frisbee, you throw it and knock the bottle down, have to catch them all. On
Dude,
the
these
beach.
sound
it's
like
that.
No, dude, that game
these sound
is
like. But I know.
addictive.
but
That's
I'm
like
saying
lawn darts, but not with
I was
darts.
gonna say these
Dude,
are
I
like
love
carny
darts.
games that we improved.
So fun, dude.
All right, I can't find the heater, but I'll send it to you. It's
All right,
pretty
do it.
sick.
Yeah,
It's a collaboration with Snoop Dogg, which is why it's the heater.
Okay.
It's got
Oh.
like this kind of Gucci Louis Vuitton look, and it's a leather. So it really looks like a Nike at the end of the day, but it's sick.
Yeah.
I mean, Snoop had like his moment. He's kind of come and gone, but
Dude, my
now being famous for being Martha Stewart's friend.
my best concert I've ever been to, though, legitimately, was in high school. I went to 311 and Snoop Dogg.
Oh, okay.
It was the best concert I've ever been to.
Were you a 311 head?
I was.
Are you still?
I still love 311 to this day.
New stuff that they come out
Yes.
with. Wow.
It's
Dude,
like Weezer for me, dude. Like,
I was.
that's what I
Weezer's
grew up
cool.
on, bro.
Yeah.
It's like I'm embarrassed to say I loved 311, but then it
only
like
liked one
they
song.
fell off the map hard
Yeah.
for me after
Ever since like
whatever.
Amber, just like
I was gonna say Amber's the only one that I know.
That shows how old I am because that's like the end of their career for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember listening to the album called Music on a cassette tape in Ben Bruch's car.
That's legit.
Yeah,
Dude, that's cool.
that was white dude gangster music. That's what 311 was.
I loved 311. Dude.
I've only heard Amber from 311, but it's on my reggae.
There's
playlist.
No,
so
dude,
many-
you've heard so many songs.
Yeah.
Of
Oh,
theirs.
really?
Dude,
Yeah.
they were like they took over,
see.
bro.
What
They
song- what
were
songs good?
they were rap
Let me
rock
look at
for stoners.
Yeah.
I mean, and soccer players. It was like if you played soccer, you loved 311
And if
somehow.
you're
Oh,
a
there we go,
stoner
311,
and
okay.
it's 420, you're hitting
Amber,
311.
Amber.
Down.
All of them. dude.
Down. Maybe. Let me see.
Bro. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Whoa.
So 90s, dude.
dude. Yeah, they are.
I can't believe how much music I actually still listen to from the 90s.
It's a great one, dude.
Consistently.
There was good music back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, I still love like a lot of music
I
comes out
enjoyed it.
today, but like I don't know why. As I gotten older, I'm like I'm gonna go back to the roots, start listening to like Eazy-E and like some of these other people, not from the '90s. I know they're not from the '90s, but
Yeah.
just like
Dead
you
ass
know.
serious. My son, 13, his alarm goes off and it's Eazy-E. He knows every word to it. My wife is like, "Is this a problem?" I'm like,
Yes.
he's getting cultured. He's fine.
It's getting cultured,
You're like
and it's a
Eazy.
good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. You'll know what you're talking about when you go
yeah.
talk to somebody.
There were some pretty killer albums that came out in the 90s.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, Smash Mouth, he just
Rip.
died. R.I.P. to the homie.
Ooh, yeah. That's right.
Alcohol, right?
Yeah. Too bad.
It's a killer. Yep.
Dude, how about
No
Creed,
bueno.
though?
Hey, that was the butt rock era, dude. Yes.
Dude,
Worst.
Creed.
So bad.
Stop it.
Dude, don't, bro.
Yeah.
You guys like
Everybody does it. It's like Kobe, dude. Come on.
Oh,
Scott
Who is-
Stapp.
Who is
Scap.
Creed is in that. Nickelback was in that.
Days of Anew. We're kind of like that.
12 Stones.
Yeah.
Collective Soul.
Oh, yeah.
Collective Soul, yeah.
Dude,
They're
Collective
kind of
Soul
like
is
that.
good.
Yeah, I call it. Yeah.
Dude,
I had a friend.
Godsmack.
Oh my gosh,
Nickelback.
it's been a while.
Yeah.
My wife will play a game with us where we like road trip, and she'll turn on 90s playlist music. Dude, I can get most songs within the first 4
for
seconds.
sure.
Yeah.
She's like,
yeah.
how do
A lot
you
of the
how do
punk
you know
rock,
that?
too.
Punk rock?
It's
yeah.
so
Like
obvious.
Yellow Card, Newfound Glory, AFI.
Well, yeah. Punk
AFI
rock,
was-
emo.
They were kind of crazy.
They're pretty good back in the day.
I like the AFI.
I liked
For, like, emo.
What was it?
Rancid.
When
Rancid
Blink
was cool.
182 broke off, and it
He
was like
loved.
Airwaves
You
and
wouldn't believe this,
something
but
Angels.
Nick actually favorite band, Blink 182.
You son of a bitch.
Dude, I love.
He hates
I
Blink 182.
I love
I don't even think they're a band.
Wow.
You couldn't
Strong
pay me
take,
to
though.
listen.
Strong take.
You couldn't pay me to listen to it.
Wow.
How do you not like, dude? Iconic
Blink
stuff.
was like the shiz.
Blink is back. I remember that.
Yeah, Travis
No, I-
Barker's been coming out with some bangers with a lot
Travis
of these
Barker.
like new punkers. You know,
He's
all over
an
the place.
eclectic dude, right?
Yeah, he is
dude.
one of a kind.
one of one.
He went on tour. Remember when he went on tour with Lil Wayne? That was the first. That was the first time Lil Wayne like walked off stage. Because Travis Barker, and I think it was like Lil Wayne and Blink 182, but they went on stage, and then Lil Wayne comes out and he sees like Blink 182's audience,
Yeah.
right? Speaking of community and audience, but like he sees it, and Eminem goes, or not Eminem, sorry, Lil Wayne goes, I'm not supposed to be here, and then like walks off stage. Like yeah, he walked off stage at a Blink 182 concert because he was like, that's not too many white people.
That's amazing.
Lil Wayne, dude.
He
The
was
Carter
good.
3, that album, I don't care what anyone says. That album was great.
The Carter 3
Yeah.
or the 4? They were both pretty good.
I think 3.
Okay. Let
Was it
me
4?
look at-
What's the one with him as a baby face?
That's 4, I think.
4 is the one I'm talking about. Then.
Yeah.
I love Lil Wayne.
Great album.
Yeah.
He had. Oh no! You're right. I was wrong. It's the Carter 3. That's the one with Millie,
Yeah.
Miss Officer,
Yeah.
Lollipop. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. I liked 4 too, though. 4 was a good one.
I was hardcore 3.
Blunt
I just
blowing,
like
Mega
Lil
Man,
Wayne.
6
Little
foot, 7
Wayne
foot.
guy.
Lil Wayne's good.
Dude, I like that you've got some eclectic taste. Because
That's what I grew up on. Like I felt like growing up, it's like I listened to country, I listened to everything. I kind of had a mix of all of it, right? I had friends who were Hicks, right? I grew up with brothers like Maine Country, then my other brother was Godsmack, and then I had friends who were like 311. So it's like I just kind of liked it all. I didn't really have like one like.
And where did you
genre.
grow up?
Up in Pleasant View, so base of Ben Lomond near the valley. Ogden Valley, north. Yeah.
Kind of Brigham City area. Brigham Young.
Brigham City, Peach Days, right? Everybody knows that. And then you go down, and it's like right at the base of Ben Lomond. That's where Pleasant View in North Ogden is.
Got it.
Yep. So I grew up Pleasant View.
It's a nice area. Pretty mountains right there.
Dude, it is such a
My
nice
parents
place.
just built a house right at it's the last neighborhood before the Ogden Divide goes up over into Eden.
Shadow Valley.
Oh my goodness.
Beautiful area, man.
Their view is just, they can see everything.
Yeah, it's kind of like a hidden gem for a lot of people who are like down in Utah County. And it's not like I care wherever you live, but a lot of people like don't know what's north past Salt Lake.
Dude, I live in Kaysville.
That's true.
I'm
pretty sad.
20 minutes to downtown, and I'll tell people I'm in Kaysville, and they act like
Like where
that
the hell's
commute from
Kaysville?
Canada must be so far. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
dog,
dude.
I'm
Did you
closer
say
to
Kaysville,
downtown than
Idaho?
you are.
Kaysville-
Yeah, like they don't know.
That's embarrassing.
They literally don't know.
It's like I could tell you almost
so
like
funny.
every city on my way down to like St. George.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you not know what's past that lake? Like even
A lot
two
of people
cities.
don't know what.
Like where's
past Provo.
Kaysville? Do you know where Lagoon is? You know where like Farmington?
Yeah.
Like just a little bit past that.
It's literally Salt Lake, Bountiful,
Yeah.
Centerville,
Kaysville.
Farmington, Kaysville. You're 4 cities.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't tell me 4 cities away.
Yeah.
And by the way, Farmington and Centerville
And I
barely
kinda,
qualify
I kind of
as
like
cities.
it that
That's
way
true.
just because like
Yeah,
you
that's
have
true.
like the Ogden Valley, which is like such a freaking gem, dude. Yep. Pine View.
Well,
Dude, the other side. Yeah, no, the other side. I'm
Oh,
not,
wait, what
I'm
other
not
side
a
of
huge
Ogden?
fan of Ogden.
No,
but like,
no, I'm not talking about Ogden. I'm talking about the Ogden Valley.
okay.
It's over the mountain through the divide.
and
you
it's
have
the
Pine
best.
View, some of the nicest houses, in my opinion, in Utah.
some of the
there.
nicest golf courses.
Some of the nicest golf courses. You've got Snow Basin, Powder Mountain, Nordic Valley, all within the same area. I could ski, snowmobile, paddleboard, wakeboard, fish, be on an ATV, camp. I can do everything. Rock climb. I could do everything within 15 minutes of my house up there.
It,
All right. All right.
It's
all
practically
right, all right.
untouched because everybody's like,
Causey
there's nothing up
Reservoir?
north.
Yeah.
Causey Reservoir, cliff jumping. Like,
Dude,
it's
this,
beautiful.
The salmon run's happening right now. So when they turn color, they turn red. They do the salmon run. There's tens of thousands of fish you hike in. You can take your kids there if you have kids.
It's
Go on a
beautiful.
hot date.
Dude, Eden Liberty is the new Park City.
Yes.
Like it's coming.
The average
All the
house
stuff
there
they're
is
doing
like
with
1.3 million bucks, bro.
Wow.
All the stuff they're
dude.
doing with Snow Basin and Powder Mountain to make
Putting
it.
a hotel
Well, okay.
up
See,
there.
I knew that part was.
They're building a
gonna-
private ski resort up
Dude,
there too.
Yeah, in Mountain Green, bro. The HOA
Yes.
fees up there are like $100,000 a month. Tom Brady, Justin Timberlake. It's just a private resort, private houses, entrance, and private ski hill, all for the billionaires. Slash over.
Beautiful up there.
Yes, gorgeous. So I like it.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't touch it, but at the same time, like I feel like Utah in itself is just such a cool state.
I feel like
Yeah.
Eden Liberty area would be a great place to get an Airbnb now.
Yep.
You go get
Oh.
a second place. And the nice thing is, even if you're not renting it out, even from downtown, you're an hour maybe.
Yeah.
Like it's close enough that you could go on a weekend, no big deal.
Yeah.
But it's far enough away that you're not at home.
yeah.
You're out in the mountains.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
crazy. Like anybody who grows up, like seriously, like Brigham City, Pleasant View, North Ogden, does not have any care in the world for what a commute is compared to most of Utahns.
That's
most
true.
Utahns are like, fuck, if I'm not, excuse me, I'm
Yeah.
not, 10,
Yeah, you're
I'm
fine.
not 10 minutes away from my work or 20 minutes away. That's too far. Where it's like, I lived up in North Ogden, was commuting down to Lehigh every day.
I lived in North
I'm like,
Salt Lake.
what's
was
an
commuting.
hour drive?
Yeah.
Was that when you were doing VIA?
Yeah.
I
Ooh, that's
was-
a drive, dude.
My point exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Right.
look, I used to live in Syracuse and I would commute to Park City.
Yeah.
So I've done it, but like,
I mean, it's just like, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, like relevance of like driving and stuff. Like
Yeah.
for me, it's like where I live is like happiness, right? Like home base. So it's like, I'll probably end up in the valley one day. I think that's where I'll be.
Yeah. I think that's that small town thing though,
Yeah.
because I grew up in Iowa and everything was 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
Like-
well, dude, the small town of like Pleasant View, it's just like, I knew like everybody.
Yeah.
You know everybody. You're 5 minutes away from
I like small
everybody.
town.
And I grew up with not a lot of houses, not a lot of people. Now it's like completely different. It's like Utah's
it's big
like,
out there.
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of people.
Dude, I remember when Provo was the end. And now
Yes.
it's like Nephi.
Yes.
It's almost
Yeah.
wall to wall people
Yes,
all the way to
agreed.
Nephi.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
I remember
Springville,
driving
Payson.
down.
It's crazy.
I remember driving down to Provo as like a kid, and it was like fields for days, right? Like it was like fields, and then all of a sudden it's like BYU, you've arrived,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? But anyways, yeah.
Well, it's we live in Eagle Mountain, and I have people tell us all the time that like is that the
Commute.
east side
yeah,
of Utah Lake used to be nothing. There was like
The west.
or the west side of
yeah,
Utah Lake.
Nothing.
Utah
There's
Lake
nothing.
will be gone in the next like 50 years.
The Salt Lake.
especially with
Gray
the
Salt
start
Lake's
of the-
not even that far away, I
Yeah.
don't think.
Well, the Utah Lake project, right? It's 10,000 acres. Ryan Smith and
I
the
don't know
Miller
that-
family
Okay.
are cutting out like, I don't know, like 18,000 acres of Utah Lake out so they can build houses. It's only a matter
Good
of
Lord.
time before that lake is gone, dude.
No
That
way.
lake's pretty gross.
Lake's disgusting. And why would you want to build a house on it?
Just Mosquito City.
But again, it just comes back to it's like the expansion of Utah. It's not.
Or
Where else are people
Utah
going?
City. That's right.
Yes.
I saw that.
Infrastructure
on
in Utah is terrible. We have I-15.
I know,
dude,
it's
building
gonna
a new one,
it is
but
hard,
at the
yeah.
same time,
it's
the
gonna go.
infrastructure of the
It's gonna go
states,
back to Tooele.
Dude, you're landlocked, right, up to the mountains, and then you have a freeway, right, and then you go out, and it's like Salt Lake, Bonneville Lake, whatever you want to call it. It's like you can't build on that.
Dude, Centerville,
Right.
the mountains to the lake in Centerville, it's like 2.5 miles. There's no room there.
Yeah.
That's why you go to Texas, dude. Build anywhere.
Texas.
What is it? Everything is in
Bigger in Texas.
Nava, Texas now.
Yeah.
All these houses, and they're like, look at this 8,000 square foot home on a full acre.
Yeah.
For $600,000, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
But then you're in Nava, Texas, or wherever it is.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. I have seen
Godly
those.
Texas.
You're
just
like,
depends on where you want to live, what you want to do. Like if you own your own business and most of it's done from a computer and you're not having to meet with clients every day, like live where you want to live.
Can I tell you, I did that one time. I was like, I could move back to Iowa, like Des Moines, Iowa.
Is that where your family is still?
Yeah. So I have Des Moines. Well, my Hawaiian family's in Hawaii, and my other family's in Des Moines. But I was like, I could move to Des Moines, Iowa, come back. I could fly back twice a month, and I could have a bigger house and still be cheaper living in Iowa and flying back to Utah twice a month to work.
It's like the kid who went to med school. It's like he's like, hey, I'm gonna buy plane tickets and fly there 3 times a week.
Yes.
Did you see that?
Yes, I did see that.
And he saved money going to med school versus living like where his med school is located.
Yeah, wasn't it his med school in like Boston?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, it was cheaper for him to fly every week and grab Ubers than
Again,
it was
that's
to live on campus.
it's such a trade-off for like people. It's like lifestyle versus like what's home versus what lifestyle you want for your future family. And it's like for a lot of people who may not have like the financial means, it's like, hey, I grew up a certain way in Utah, or I had something, or I didn't have something. It's like, what do my parents teach me? Do I go build that? Can I go scale that? Can I have that lifestyle here? And I think in Utah, where it's like people are like, oh yeah, interest rates will come down. Yeah, they'll come down to a certain point, but the price of home in Utah and the growth that's happening in Utah, I sincerely think that like even my kid moving forward, I'm like, dude, your home is going to cost you $1 million for like a shithole in Utah.
It's facts.
We're turning into California because we don't have an economic problem as far as like pricing and interest rates. It's a supply and demand problem, right? Like it's not. They're not going to go down because people
it's
are
like,
still.
Hey, not to knock on you, California, but like a lot of people who sell their $2 million home in California, they come to Utah, and people who've saved up money want to put a down payment on their home.
Yeah.
This person's like, I'll pay all cash plus $60,000 over.
Yeah.
This is what was happening last year.
Yeah, I know. I remember that.
A lot of people in real estate. It's like, let's go.
It was a bitch trying to find a house a year. That's when I bought my house a year ago.
Tough.
It sucked, dude. It was like, I mean, and we were in a good spot. Like I made like quite a bit of money from my condo. Like we were in a really good position to buy a house, and it was still like institutional buyers, California. Like our house, we sold our house to a California guy. Yeah. We sold our house to a California guy who
It's not
just
like
came in and paid cash for it.
I'm just saying, like, there's just like, that's just the way the real estate market is, especially in Utah specifically.
Yeah.
Now, other places a little different,
Des Moines,
right?
Iowa.
Dude, I might join you. Is Iowa cool? I've never been.
I love Iowa. Yeah, it's great, dude. Small town. Like Des Moines a big. They have an international airport, but it still feels like a small town. And then you can go. Yeah, I really like Des Moines. It's a really good place to be. I like Iowa.
Like Bentonville, Arkansas.
Dude, I just went to Sturgis, South Dakota for an event with Dixon.
Dude, yes.
So pretty.
Sturgis is
So
the shit.
freaking
Dixon,
beautiful.
as in like the
Flannel co-
flannels.
yeah.
Dude, I love Dixon.
Me too.
I have a lot of their flannels.
I've worked
not
with
flannel
them.
season
They were
for
my
me
very
yet.
first client at Grounded.
Really? That's cool, dude.
Yeah. And we're still with them and love those dudes.
That's
What
cool.
they've built is insane.
Yeah.
Via did work with Dixon for a while.
Yeah, yeah. I don't really remember. I remember the account, but I wasn't a part of the conversations there, so I don't know them personally. But
I used Via with Dixon and with Vure.
Vure.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I got Vure to move over.
Vure has a really cool brand. I like their stuff. It's soft.
Yeah. Wait, you're thinking
No, glasses.
You're thinking the clothing
Vuori.
company. Vuori. Vuori is
The glasses.
backpacks.
Backpacks.
They're based out of Logan, but then they got acquired by a aggregator called 33 Threads. Great people.
Yes, now I remember.
Great people.
Backpacks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mostly women's gym bags.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy how many brands, like, shout out to Logan. There's a lot of
They have
very
a lot of
successful
cool,
brands and businesses in Logan. Not to say like you
Maloof.
can't create, but
Goodness
Maloof out of there.
gracious.
Yeah,
Sam
Maloof out of
with
there.
Maloof linens. Yeah.
Yeah.
iFrogs, and you will remember these when obviously we had headphone jacks. Remember those like gas station like tube iFrog headphones?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, out of there, those guys cranked.
Really, I didn't know that.
There's a
Kroger is out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
Semi.
big like flour, and that might be Kroger what I'm thinking of, but there was a big like one of the biggest exporters of flour, like a big
Cash Value Electric.
yeah.
There's some
Icon?
Oh, dude, Icon. Well, I guess iFit.
Yeah.
now
I fit.
with freaking Greg.
And then do you
Stevenson.
guys know Denis? I mean, not a huge brand, but
Ruli?
quietly
Really?
under the radar, Denis has built something quite large.
Yeah.
It's like custom notebooks.
Wow, dude.
That's sick.
No, Logan's pretty cool. That's where
I
Crumble
love
came out.
Logan.
Crumble
Have you ever
came
been to
out.
damn
Herms?
cold.
Herms. This is another shout out to a great breakfast spot. You should take your family.
Ooh.
It was created by the owner. I think. Well, I don't know. It's been sold multiple times, but essentially, it's like a old like diner, kind of got like Harleys in it, but it looks like it's brand new, like red brick. It's always busy.
Main Street?
No, it's like off the beaten path, like in the canyon next to the school. Like you have to type it in to
Oh.
get there. You won't find it. It's like intentionally like they don't want people to know about Herms kind of a thing. It's
Yeah.
like stick to Logan. But I will say, if you ever want a great place like on a Saturday to go get breakfast or brunch with like your family, that's a spot.
Herms is
That's
it.
unique and it's freaking great food.
That's sweet. You know what I was
Noted.
thinking of?
I like going and doing stuff like that.
Me too. That's like my family's thing. Just
Yeah.
go on a whim, go
Yeah.
to pool, like Snow Basin. Another cool thing to do is go by there. We'll do it like around September 11th, where we'll go up there. You buy a gondola ticket, $75 per person, and they have an all-out brunch. So they have like salmon, poached eggs, Lux bagels, prime rib. They've just got everything, and then you sit at the top lodge, and then you can kind of hike around. You just have views of the whole Ogden Valley.
That's like same with
so
Snowbird.
pretty, yes.
You
Snowbird
take the tram.
Thanksgiving.
Oof.
I did a Snowbird Thanksgiving with my family.
Did you really?
I did. So it was weird. Like, I typically would go with like my in-laws or just like, my family. But for some reason, they were both gone. I don't know what they were doing. But I'm like, I don't want to like cook Thanksgiving for just like us three.
Yeah.
Like, let's go do something. We went to Snowbird, and Snowbird's like $100 a person. Put on this like unbelievable buffet of like Thanksgiving dinner. And it was just snowing and the glass. Dude, it was sick. Such a cool Thanksgiving.
Like
like
on Thanksgiving
that.
Day?
Yes.
Wow. At Snowbird.
At Snowbird.
And then the Snow Basin brunch.
Yeah, Snowbird.
You can
Snow
go in,
Basin
like,
brunch,
October
you
or
do
whatever?
I think their last is like in October, but literally it's like, it's so cool. You take your kid up on the gondola, they're like looking out everywhere. It's like 16 minutes to get up there, and then you just brunch out hard up top. You can leave whenever. There's no rush coming down the mountain. There's like a
Wow.
park down in the bottom and like little shops you can go do.
Oh, dude. Heck
Be
yeah.
interesting
Well,
to
I know
see.
what I'm
But
doing
if you have
this weekend.
if you have a
awesome.
premier
Yeah.
pass, you can do mountain biking. So you just do downhill mountain biking. So you can take your
Yeah.
bikes up and then go down.
Because who wants to ride your bike up the mountain?
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck that.
Just go
Unless you
down.
have an e-bike. E-bikes change the game, dude.
Yeah.
The
You can
hybrid,
be
the hybrid
fat,
ones, yeah.
out of shape. Those freaking
He
bad.
looked right at me when he said that.
dude.
I pointed right at it.
Dude,
fuck.
no,
Thanks,
no.
Greg.
Okay, I just gotta like look over here. And
This
be like, yeah,
episode's
fat,
never
out of
going.
shape.
This episode's
Hey,
never going
We're supposed
live.
to be talking to each other. Gosh, but dude, legit e-bikes. My dad's
mountain bikes,
67, 68 years old. The guy's on his e-bike and he kicks my ass up the mountain. He just literally just does like barely pedals. It's like,
He's riding a motorcycle.
Yeah,
he
dude.
should kick your ass.
dude, have you seen those electric motorcycles? The one that are torquey.
So
yeah,
Adam-
the Zero bikes.
You guys probably know them better.
Harley,
than I do.
yeah,
they're
the Harley
so
one.
cool.
Zero,
Zero has
is a
a
bunch
bike.
of dudes from Skull Candy.
Really?
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that
cool.
all moved down to Santa Cruz and started building Zero.
Dude, that's so sick.
Zero's
Shout out to
cool
those
bike,
dudes
yeah.
because They're so much fun to ride. They're a little scary because they're super torquey.
Well, they get they have all their power from zero.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why electric cars are faster. That's why Tesla's so fast, right? Because
Teslas are sweet.
They get all their RPM at zero. But
mine isn't charging right now. I don't know what's wrong with it though. I have a Model 3, and all week I plug it in in my garage. I came out this morning again, like, son of a bitch, it didn't charge one percentage.
So this is just throwing it out there. You have kids? You have little kids?
Yeah.
So like like the trip thing?
Yeah.
Where you can slide it. Sometimes they'll slide it to like 5 miles. And I've had that happen a couple times.
Those freaking kids.
And then like I'll charge it in. I'll be like, yes, I'm gonna drive today.
Yeah.
A trip down to Salt Lake, and it's like 5 miles. I'm like, F my life,
dude.
And then it's like that's the sad thing is there's no chargers up north.
There's not.
Superchargers are all in Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Lehigh,
I think there's one.
Draper.
I can tell you off camera.
Okay, I'm gonna need to know about
kind of
this.
by Lagoon.
Really?
Yeah, it's in the back of a hotel parking lot.
There's a just one
like
random
is it
supercharger?
the little charger or is it a legit supercharger?
No, I think it's a legit supercharger.
Dude,
they have the little ones at Station Park.
Because I'm gonna need the deets on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing more aggravating. Tesla, I love you, but nothing more aggravating
than driving to 21st South.
Yes, for a person who's up in northern Utah. Because the next closest one is in like Garland or Tremont.
Yeah.
And then I hate it. I'll go, and all of the spots are taken, and no one's in the cars. I'm like,
yeah,
where is everyone?
Yeah, dude, people just plant them and like go off on their merry way. I'm just I sit there and I'm like,
I know, dude. I'm on a phone call or
Yeah.
I turn on the fireplace. I just like get cozy
Classy.
in there.
Classy.
That's
like
like
fireplace,
dude. It gets so hot though. Have you turned that on your car?
What?
The fireplace mode?
No. Does it actually heat up your car?
Dude, so the screen turns to a fire
Fuck.
and then it makes like crackling noises and it turns heat on so freaking hot. And then it plays Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On.
Really?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Babe, if you're listening to this, we're going to do that.
So, dude,
Yeah. We're,
for sure.
I'll always like joke
Tesla.
around and stop and quickly turn on the fireplace with my wife and be like,
Yeah.
so
So we going to get
What
it
do you say?
on or?
it's nice, dude. You go up like Farmington Canyon, whatever, you park,
yeah.
turn on the crackling
Sounds
fire.
like you've done this before.
And that's
You savage. Great idea. I'm going to
And
steal
that's
it.
how we're gonna end it. Tesla, thank you for making a romantic
Dude,
fireplace.
it's
Dude, and then they
sweatshop.
got that freaking Tesla celebration where it's just like flicking on the garage and it's like,
Yes,
dun,
yes,
dun,
yes.
dun, dun. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll Tide.
and obviously your kids love the
fart button.
fart button.
Oh yeah, it's an every time thing. He's like, Dad, play the fart button. I'm like, got you.
I just wish
like-
I didn't have to set it up
But
every time.
truthfully,
dude.
I like
Yeah.
the farting outside the car when like I come to a stop and I press my little button and like farts and like person.
Wait,
like,
it does it
like-
outside the car?
Yeah. So there's this little button on the side.
I didn't know this.
On the side, you click the side button.
Yeah.
And then it will do that same noise on the outside speaker. So when people are walking across this, dude, I'll fart at them all day long. 'Cause I find it so entertaining.
Awesome. Yeah.
And it's like my stress relief is just to go fart on people in my Tesla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
It's
I
ridiculous.
love that.
But it's so funny because people don't know how to handle. They're like, was that me? Or was that something behind me? Like
I let that one slip?
they try to look for it, and then you'll change the fart noise and do like a little one, then they just like look back at you. Or like you can change your voice to like Megatron and like talk through the thing, or have
Okay, I didn't know you could do that.
no, dude.
wow,
So it's
that's
called
cool.
megaphone. Same thing. So where
Yep.
the farts are and stuff. Megaphone, you do it and you can talk through. So like you know how like you're in the car and you're trying to tell your kid like, hey, grab this for me before you come get in the car.
Yeah.
So instead of opening your window or your door, you just flick on that. And it also has a speaker. So you can play the music that's playing in the car externally, so you can turn it into an external speaker.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Nice. My
Yeah,
neighbors would love
just
that.
some updates, you know.
See, we get the updates and
Nice.
I'm just like, yeah. I don't look into it. I don't even know.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know.
That's what makes Tesla
what-
cool to me is just their updates.
You read
Because it's
the-
just like they become smarter every year. Your car does.
That's true.
The driving does. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Although I'll tell you,
Tesla, freaking
I'll
Tesla.
tell you what I think the coolest feature is in the Tesla. It's weird, but it's just like a UX. It's such a lesson in UX.
Yeah.
There's no There's no button to start the car.
Yep.
Oh,
Like you get into
your
even
phone.
a car that without a key. Well, it's not even
it's a
that.
push start. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the push start. But Tesla's like,
It's an experience.
everyone's going to push the brake to start the car. Why don't we just... So to start the car, you put your foot on the brake and then you just slide it into gear. That combination starts your car.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have to do that anyways.
Yeah.
So they just eliminate... They were like, we're going to
Yeah.
completely eliminate an entire step that every other car on the planet does. We're just going to make the start button the
Yeah.
brake.
Well, you
Yep.
can do that when you're in an electric car.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do that with a.
Why couldn't you do it on a push button? Why couldn't you set it so you push your foot on the brake and you put it in reverse,
Maybe you could.
and that acts as the push button?
Well, because like, you gotta.
You could, dude.
You don't know what I-
maybe. I guess you could, but
Yeah.
you kind of gotta ignite it though. That's the
It's
ignition.
a silly thing, right? Like it's not.
Yeah. I hate Tesla
but
for
it's
one
so
reason.
cool.
This
Yeah.
is why I hate Tesla. Tesla, I hope you're listening to this. But
By the way, shout out Elon Musk if you're listening to this.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
We talked about X. We talked about
dude, if we
Tesla.
could get Elon Musk on here, this isn't my podcast, but I would come. Can I just be here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
we'll do a
you've-
live podcast with.
I think you fit right in. We need a 3-way host.
Dude, I'll sit right in between.
Snuggle up.
Yeah, dude.
It'll
fuck it.
hurt.
You gotta wear.
I'm gonna be doing this all day.
You gotta wear shorter shorts, but you're in.
Okay, fine. I'll wear the short shorts.
We've had some short shorts in here.
Dude, tight, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Awkward bulges.
Uh-huh.
We've had it all. Scott,
some of
Scott
that.
Paul.
Yeah, I added it.
Hayden, Chad.
Okay, that may be too far. Sorry.
So
everybody.
wait, what
But
is it that you hate
again,
about
go
Tesla?
ahead.
Going
What-
back
yeah,
to
what do you
my
hate about
original
Tesla?
hate
Yeah.
for Tesla is their cabin camera. Cabin camera's right, sneakily placed above the mirror, the rear view mirror.
Yeah.
It's tiny. And I got smart. I put a card, like one of the parking ticket cards, right in front of it. Because then when I do the double click and it just like takes you on your journey, it doesn't tell you to keep shaking the wheel, or it doesn't tell you a lot of stuff because it's not following you. So you can be on your phone. Yeah, I know this is irresponsible, but like part of the reason why I bought a phone is so I could hop in the, HOV lane. Or,
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And because you can be a single driver in a Tesla, electric cars can be a single driver in Utah in the HOV lane.
Wait.
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
100%.
Okay, because I've just been doing it just like
No, so you,
No,
it's
I'm
a-
thinking if
it's
someone pulled me over
100%,
going like, oh, I
but the
just
problem
thought.
is, dude, like I'll
Yeah.
sit there and it's like, dude, I had an hour drive every day. It's like I'm gonna be answering emails, doing all that stuff because like there's so much trust I have in Tesla's freaking car.
Their
It's
autopilot is extremely good.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
is.
it's really
Until
good.
you get into a city and you're in beta and it's like, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, fuck, I'm gonna die.
Well, I think that's the always the disclaimer is like, people are dumb. No, there's no protection for people are dumb.
Yeah. Scott Paul, when I worked with him, he sent me a video once. He was driving to St. George, and he packed a bag of rocks, and then he took a clip that you'd like use to clip on a bag of chips to keep it closed.
Yeah.
He clipped the steering wheel, put a bag of rocks on the front seat, and then he got in the back. He just let-
Yeah, because
he let
of
the Tesla
pressure,
drive
yeah.
from like Provo to St. George, and he was like, I was in the back. No one in the front two
but
seats.
how did he do the hand thing? Was
It's
that
the
prior?
pressure. Yeah.
The pressure of
The pressure of the rocks. is-
well, no, not the rocks. It was the bag of chip
Yes,
closer
yes.
thing.
Okay.
Because he just was like, he
Chip
just
clip.
put the chip clip. That's it. He's like,
Yeah.
that was enough pressure that they thought my hand was on the wheel.
Yeah.
That's bitching.
That's
Yeah.
so scary, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not getting in the back.
No. Scott
I'd
Paul's
do it in a
wild man.
heartbeat, dude. Call me
That
crazy.
that
but,
feels
like,
so crazy.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He drove all the way to St. George.
Dude,
Here's the
I
thing
guess
I
you
hate
could.
about
I'll
the
tell you
Tesla.
right
Good.
now, going
It
back to
stops-
drones, though, it will be so cool when you can just hop in your drone and just like beep and take me down to St. George. Personal flight, bro, without having to like really have to learn a whole lot.
I'm not joking. I was thinking about that this morning
Dude, have you
on
seen
my commute. Like, how long until we're really just flying to
Oh,
work?
dude, it would be so bitching like the Jetsons.
Yeah.
Put me in a damn
Put me
aircraft.
in a tube.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a little cup holder that cools my drink, my beverage.
Can you? I mean, you look back on time though, and you think, how the hell did they live like that?
Truth.
In 1,000 years, people are going to look back on 2023 and be like, these sons of bitches were getting in a car to drive to St. George. Like morons.
It's like your kid when
think
he's
about
like,
how-
Dad, what's a DVD? And I'm not that old, but I'm like,
Yeah, no,
technology's on the law of singularity where it's just like, it's straight up and down. We can never catch up with it. So it's like, it's always advancing. You can't learn it all. It's continuing. And now that AI is in the chat, it's like, yeah.
I had that experience with my daughter.
Pretty
she was
nuts.
like, she's a Netflix and Disney Plus and like streaming kid, right? And we get to a hotel one time, and
You
I'm
gotta
like,
pop in the old DVD.
no. I just turned on the TV like it's cable,
Oh, okay.
right? And a commercial comes on, and my daughter comes up to me. She's like, Dad, the TV's broken. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, no, look, my show is on and now it's off.
Yeah.
Someone changed the channel.
Let me tell
And it's
you.
a commercial. She could not.
do you have
She was like,
YouTube
this is
TV?
Whoa, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you have YouTube TV, my kid is like, oh, that's just an ad.
Yeah, an ad.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
He
No.
knows what an ad is now. I'm like, what the freak?
Yeah,
bro?
it's not
I'm
a
like,
commercial
Get on
anymore.
you for
It's
knowing
like
what ads are.
It's like an ad.
How old are your kids?
So I have one on the way, a little boy, and then I
Nice.
have a 5-year-old.
Congrats.
Well,
Nice.
almost 6-year-old. Yeah,
Boy, girl,
boys.
2 boys.
Yeah, and he just started kindergarten. I was a freaking wreck, dude. I didn't realize it's gonna
It's
hit
so
me like
hard,
emotionally.
dude.
Like
Yeah.
as a parent, like it was weird because you just, it's like this little sidekick for the first 5 years of their life.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, dude, I gotta wait to see my homie until like 3:30 today. And I'm like, this is weird. And then like we have like a 3-hour window and it's like he's in bed. I'm like, this is so weird. Going
Yeah.
from like full-time parent mode to be like, I don't have to like be attentive like right now.
I know, it's sad.
But
It's-
going from 6 to a newborn's gonna be pretty rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is gonna. Yeah.
So I've got 4, and my youngest is 8. And his brother is 13. So it was about.
How was
And
that?
I mean, the nice thing is my 2 older kids.
Just
I mean, I have a 19-year-old
yeah.
and a 16-year-old. So when my youngest was born, they were 8 and 11. Right? Like,
So they were helping out quite a bit.
we kind of joke, like, Theo was born and he had a mother and 2 smothers. The 2 girls,
Yeah.
they took care of so much for him. They like treated him like he was their baby almost.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as difficult, but it did slow us down on travel. It changes the game for
Yeah.
about 4 years.
Yeah. I feel like that's any kid's life. And maybe it's just because I'm obviously rookie dad over here. So I'm not trying to like say like an everything or anything. But like really at the end of the day, it's just like I felt like it was just so much fun. And it just keeps getting funner with like his personality. But truthfully, like that first year is just tough because like, especially as like first time, you're just figuring shit out.
Yeah.
It's like, and even
Everything feels like an emergency.
it's all new.
Yeah.
But like I feel like where it's like when your kid can tell you what's wrong, it changes things. Where it's like, like I hurt or something, or like I feel sick. It's like different than just like listening to a crying baby all the time.
But then they get older and they won't tell you what's wrong.
Yeah.
They don't want to know. They don't want you to know, or they're not sure, or like
come full circle.
it gets. And then I now have one who's not in high school, and it's a similar sort of experience to when you first ship them off to kindergarten. Now she's not in high school, and it's like, well, what are you doing now? What's this transition in your life? And
Yeah. What's the game plan? Yeah.
you start losing grip of your kids once they. It's like you think you want your kids to crawl, and then they crawl, and you're like, oh, this is.
Yeah.
I've lost a little bit of them, and then they walk, and it's every
once
single
they're,
time.
Once they're
Get out of-
freaking top heavy and they're grabbing the couch and they're just going, it's like game over.
Yeah.
And
My
then
kid's a
give them a
velociraptor.
set of
He's just
keys to a
always-
car.
He's just adapting. I have to adapt.
Yeah.
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 It's hard. You
Kids.
definitely start parenting differently. So it's
Yeah.
exhausting. It
Yeah.
doesn't
It's
it doesn't
exhausting,
slow
but it's
down, dude.
amazing.
It is amazing, isn't it?
It's like kind of like the thing where it's like you bitch about it on a lot of days, most days, but like I just feel like there's nothing. I can't even remember what it's like before, and it's like I've only had a kid for 5 years, but
Yeah.
I know I was like a crazy kid and young and in love, all that stuff, but it's just like having a family is just like it's the shit, man.
it is
Yeah,
the
it's
And my wife's
freaking
a
best, dude.
fox, so you better be listening to this.
Oh, hey.
She's a
Let's
fox,
go.
dude. Straight 10.
Straight 10.
Oh yeah, straight 10, dude.
So she's the loser in the relationship.
Oh, like 100%, dude. I kicked so far out of my coverage. I'm convinced two things. One, she's blind, and two, like I always just post like pictures of like me as an orangutan, and like I'm like that orangutan on the edge of the bed, right? Just like gut out, and I'm just like, how do you love this? Like seriously. So, anyways,
There you go.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that.
I think we all do.
Good for you, dude.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
for you. Swinging above your class. Nothing
dude,
wrong
I'm
with
dead
that.
serious.
Yeah.
She's damn blind for sure.
That's what I do.
I love it, dude.
All right.
Well,
Well, thanks for coming on the lunch break,
Dude,
bro.
I'm stoked.
Love it, man.
yeah, it's
That was it.
a little different than I think other podcasts.
What was it
There's
supposed
no-
to be about?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
that was it.
Cool. I had
Actually,
like no
actually, we hit it
hesitation.
right on the head.
Just-
Yeah. We've been called by many. I've said this a lot. The Seinfeld of podcasts.
Dude, I
Just
love
podcast
it.
about nothing. No intros, no agenda.
No.
Just
Let's go, dude.
yeah.